Thank you very much. My name is
Amen.
Aisha Usmano. I'm the administrative manager. I'm with the institution. I also serve, I'm also in charge of membership activities as well. So today's presentation is basically in preparations for the upcoming engineering professional examination, termed as the August-September engineering professional examination. So basically, is to take you through the preparations, procedures for to undertake the engineering professional examination. And to do as the Hannah is our membership chair engineer, Dr. Patrick Bequin. He is a civil engineer by profession. He is also a fellow of the institution, and he works with the Department of Feeder Roads. He is the executive representatives of professional engineers on the Council of the Ghana Institution of Engineering. He will be taking us through this examination workshop this evening. And without much ado, let me welcome the presenter engineer, Dr. Patrick Bequin, to take us through the presentation. Engineer Chair, if you are ready, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Madam Aisha, and good evening to you all. I, on behalf of the Council of the institution and the Executive Committee, we want to thank each and every one of you for your interest in our noble institution. And this is one of the processes that we'll be going through towards you becoming full members of our institution. I presume that a lot of us either have joined as training professionals, but many more are also joining for the first time. So I'll go through some series of slides, and after that, maybe we'll leave room for questions. And then the questions that we are not able to address later on, we can respond via email. And because this is a large crowd, so as we speak, almost 280, getting to 300, I do expect that also we just a few distance, we switch off our microphones. If we have any questions during the course of the presentation, we use the chat room as our aid. Apart from that, I hope this will be a successful time. But I want to also acknowledge some of the members of the membership committee who have joined. Thank you very much. They are here so that if there are any teething questions, they will help in answering them. Thank you. And I don't know whether, Madam Aisha, can you confirm, is my screen clear?
Yes,
Can you
Engineer
see this? Yes, it's clear.
Yes,
It's okay, all right. Thank you very much. So this pre-exams workshop is being organized by the council and for that matter, the membership committee, mainly to prepare us for the upcoming examination. Once again, my name is Engineer Dr. Patrick Bequin. I've been already introduced, so I will not spend much time. This is my contact. Just a quick outline of this workshop. I'll go through the objective of the workshop, which maybe I've already said. Then just to give us a brief, and I mean a brief introduction to the institution, what we do, and our constitution, code of ethics. We have the Engineering Council Act and how it fits in. Then I will spend some time briefly on the route to membership. And then I will give a set of slides, which is external to this on membership application process, and I'll explain why later on. Then the examination itself, which for those of you who are already TPEs will be of much interest. Then the examination process, mainly, i.e. when the results are published, and then subsequently induction of members. So mainly the objective of this workshop is to prepare candidates to understand the requirements for the professional exams, actually per our constitution, then also educates members on the procedures during and after the professional examination. So as I said, as an institution or as a professional body, our name is Ghana Institution of Engineering. For the old folks joining us, we used to call us Ghana Institute of Engineers. We are now engineering. And one of the significant things that you see change is the fact that we are not only a group of only professional engineers, but all those within the professional engineering enclave. So from craftsmen, technician, technologists, and the professional engineers. So by our constitution, and I'm not going to go through them, we have branches, and most of our branches are identified by the regions in Ghana. So those are our geographical branches, and I'll talk about a few later on. We are also divided into occupational groups, which I just mentioned. The occupational groups are the professional engineers, professional engineering technologists, technicians, and then the craftsmen. And we are also made up of engineering persons like myself and yourself, but also firms, mainly engineering firms, construction firms, also join our institution. So all those who are in the ecosystem of engineering are actually part of us and by the constitution. But sometimes as the constitution actually give some definitions and give some details of members and some terminologies that we use. So when you go into the constitution, those terminologies are defined, and who a full member is. So a full member is either someone, a fellow, a senior member, or a member. So if you're a TPE, or training professional engineer or trainee, you are not a full member. Or if you're a student, you are not a full member, but you can be a member of the institution. So all those definitions are given. I will skip a few of them and later on. So we also have technical divisions. Those are the disciplines, and I'll talk about that going forward. And we also have what we call the council of the institution. Now, when you look at our constitution, what is our objective? Mainly is to promote and advance the science and practice of engineering to the benefit of society in Ghana and Africa and globally. And mainly we have about 5 main functions. We have registration and regulation, maintenance of professional standards, promotion of welfare, civic service, and promotion and recognition of excellence. So when you join us, these are the functions that we do to, we engage in with the aim of achieving our objectives. In terms of organizational structure, we basically our organogram, as I said, we have our headquarters at RICH in Accra, but beyond that, we have different branches and chapters. So I said earlier on that these branches are based on geographical location, and most of them are based on our region. So we have branch 1, Chanty region, branch 2, branch 3, branch 4 is Greater Accra, and the rest. And so when you join, you will be required to join at least a branch and be under the branches as chapters. So some branches have smaller chapters under them, and the Constitution actually defines what a branch is, what a chapter is. Then we have the technical divisions, and those are professional technical divisions. And specifically, the technical divisions are 4 for now, and they can expand actually by some few by constitutional amendments, and the Constitution allow us to expand the technical division. But at the moment, we have chemical, mining, civil, electrical, electronic, mechanical, agric, marine, technical divisions. So you asked me if I did geomatic, where will you be? It's easy for you to be placed under the civil technical division. What about if you did biomedical engineering? Depending on your practice, you can come under the electrical, electronic, or otherwise. So those are the technical divisions that we have for now, and we place people depending on the practice. Then the occupational groups, I think I've talked about them already. Then, as I said, we have the registered entities, contractors, and consultants, and beyond. Once again, beyond the membership that I mentioned, we can have trainees, students, and temporary members. And each occupational group, whether it is technicians, technologists, craftsmen, have senior members, trainees, students. However, beyond that, the professional engineers group has the fellow category added to that. We like titles. We also have the honorary classes. There's the honorary fellows, honorary companions. And so you see a lot of titles before and after people's names. Mainly, we have the fellows. So if someone is a fellow, you have FGHIE, SP, GHIE, that means SPE is a senior professional engineer, and the rest follows. I'll not go into all. It's, however, those in the professional engineers group that will use the ING in front of your name. So all these titles in Article 5.7 are after. That's the post-nominal titles. But the professional engineering group can use the ING in front of their name. So now let's go to the governing body of the institution. Generally, the council is made up of the president, the immediate past president, the president-elect, the vice president, the various occupational groups, their executive representative, the national councillors for the various occupational groups, the chairpersons of the technical divisions, the branches, the representative from registered entities, the past presidents, and we have the representative from affiliate engineering groups can be co-opted. Then the executive director. Indeed, the executive director is the head of the secretariat and more of like the CEO of the institution. Having talked about that, you can see the picture of our current president. The current president is Engineer Kwabena Jimabimpong. Our immediate past president, the names are there. And so, at least for the purpose of examination, you should know some of the executives or council members, and at least you should know your branch chairs. So branch 1 is shown, branch 2 it's also shown. I can see, I think branch 7 has their chair joining Engineer Franklin Kumasa, and the rest are there. Our current vice president is also shown, Engineer Sophia Tijani. Our president-elect is Engineer Ludwig Hesse. Immediate past president, Engineer Professor Charles Enum Adams. I am the executive representative for professional engineers. And then the executive representative for professional technicians is Mr. Philip Kwame Aheto. And that for the craftsman is Mr. Richard Adakwa. And the rest of the national councillors have been shown for professional engineers and craftsmen. For the various technical division chairs, their names are also shown there. These are also available, I think, on our website, and this presentation will be made available to you so you can look at them. Then we have the executive committee from the council who are responsible for more of the day-to-day running of the institution. It is made up of the president, the immediate past president, latest and available, the president-elect, the vice president, the executive representative of the various occupational groups, and then the executive director. The council is also made up of standing committees. So we work through committees. So we have the finance committee. You are joining, and the membership committee is the work doing this pre-exams workshop. We have the education and training. We have professional practice and ethics committee, publications, welfare, conference and programs. So these are standing committees of council, and council can make amendment and add more committees. So there are a lot more committees that work. And remember, the work that we do as an organization are all pro bono. So these are people who use their time to serve the institution to make engineering better for our country. We are also guided by a certain code of ethics and practice. And so this is basically to ensure that engineering practice within the country conforms to established technical, environmental, and safety standard. So you'll be made available, and that will be made available to you. Our code of ethics will be made and disciplinary procedure. I will not spend much time, but this is basically to ensure that we do not go beyond bounds as engineers. Beyond our constitution, we have the Engineering Council Act, which was promulgated in 2011, Act 819. Basically, in line with what we do, is also to ensure to secure the highest professional standards in the practice of engineering. So the Engineering Council is the one that regulates standards within the country. And we are a professional body that operates under the Engineering Council. So we act on their behalf. So whatever we do is in consonance with what the Engineering Council mandates us to do. And so you'll see the same, for example, register of engineering practitioners, and those are the same as what we call the occupational groups. And all those registers, you are qualified to practice only when you are registered in one of the 4 categories. So those are the things that they do. Beyond the act, there's an LI 2020, LI 2410. That came into being in 2020. Basically, it gives life and these details of how the acts should be implemented. So your application form is actually in line with what the Engineering Council regulation LI 2410 stipulates. Schedule of application, re-registration process, and other requirements. So that is what the Act, the Engineering Council Act actually, and the regulation talks about. What I will say at this stage is that it is useful that each and every one of you get copies of the Act 819, then LI 2410 to know about the legal listing. And of course, our constitution, which is already on our website, our constitution and bylaws for the other details. As part of our examination, and I'll talk about that, these are requirements that we do expect you to know. And of course, the code of ethics. So how do you become a member? So in the next few minutes, I will take you through the route to membership. Now, as I said earlier on, there are 4 occupational groups. So I will start with the professional engineering occupational group, or professional engineers occupational group. Generally, for all the occupational groups, you need 2 major requirements. The first requirement is your educational qualification. That's the educational requirement. Then the second, it's your experience, your practice. So whatever route that you pass, you realize going forward that we'll be talking about, do you have the requisite educational requirement? 1, 2, do you have the necessary experience? So for the professional engineer occupational group, you need a BSc, BEng, or BTech in engineering, a degree in engineering or its equivalent. But it should be approved by the National Accreditation Board. And generally, you should have practiced in engineering for not less than 3 years. So you should have worked under an engineer, worked in engineering for not less than 3 years. And at least 1 year should have been in a position of responsibility. So you can work for 3 years, but if you've not been in any position of responsibility, you're still not qualified. And then you should, based on that, you can apply and we will qualify you to at least write the examination. And then you do the examination, you become a PE if you pass the examination. Subsequent to that, you can later on, after 10 years, apply for a senior professional engineer, and you can become a fellow based on the requirements for a fellow. So that is the route for PE if you want to become a professional engineer. Beyond that, you can also come through other routes. So you can be a senior professional engineering technologist or technician, but you have upgraded yourself, okay? And you've upgraded yourself, then you now gain the necessary experience and you can write the exams. So that's another way of joining, becoming a professional engineer. The next one is the professional engineering technologist. So to become a professional engineering technologist, we require that you have an HND or its equivalent from an accredited institution approved by the National Accreditation Board Authority. You should, beyond the academic qualification, you should practice for 3 years minimum. And within that 3 years, you should have been in a position of responsibility. Once again, based on that, you then become qualified to write the examination. And if you pass the examination, you become a PET. And with time, you can, after 10 years, you can become SPET, that's Senior Professional Engineering Technologist. Another way to become a professional engineering technologist is that you are a technician, but now you get your HND, and then you gain the necessary experience, and then you can write the examination. Then what about the engineering technician? So you have a technician diploma in engineering or its equivalents, and then you become a training engineering technologist. We require that you work for at least 3 years, and then you also write the examination, and then based on the written examination, you pass. If you pass, then you become engineering technician, and the process is the same. You can become a senior engineering technician after 10 years. Another way to become an engineering technician is that you are a master engineering craftsman or engineering craftsman, but you gain additional qualification, and based on that, you can also become an engineering technician. The last, no, let me say the last but not the least for now, in terms of the route, is engineering craftsman. Generally, you need COTVET. Now it's changed, but COTVET, you should have practice. You become a training engineering craftsman. Then after 4 years of practice, you become an engineering. So you do not write an examination. You become an engineering craftsman. And then after 10 years, you become a master engineering craftsman. So those are the 4 main routes. Each one has about 2, and so in principle, 9 ways that you can become a full member of our institution. But beyond that, you can come through the matured route. The examination requirements are different. So what is the criteria for mine? Do not have a formal academic qualification defined. You do not have it, but you have practiced engineering over a considerable, typically we look at 20 years or so. You shouldn't be less than 40 years if you want engineering technologies or PE, or not less than 35 years if you want to go through the craftsman or the technician. You go through the same application process, but you end up submitting something like a thesis in engineering, and it will be graded. And based on that, you will be asked to do, that's basically an oral interview, and you can be admitted. So that is also the matured route. Well, now that we know the processes, now let's go now to the application. How do you apply to become a member? I am going to change the presentation because we have developed a new application system where for the applying an online application system. I will share the slides, and at the end of the day, we will ask the secretariat to help us with the link and all those. But just let me stop sharing for now and go to another set of slides. Hold on. So I guess my screen can now be seen. Madam Aisha, is it clear?
It's clear, Engineer Chair.
All right, good. Before I go on with this set of presentation, it is important I recognize the developers, Process and Plant Automation Limited, for the excellent work they have done and they've been doing in support of our institution. And developing such a software system for us, for the institution. And we need to recognize these slides are actually from them. And it is first for new applicants and also for those who want to become full members. So it deals with the examination, and they've been supportive ever since. And we need to recognize the steps. So I will go through the presentation. As I said, this is a new system that we have. I know some of you have filled the old application system. We are now, for this examination, we are using this new system. And so if you want to apply, those who are already TPEs, you will not go through the first steps that I'm going to talk about. But if for some reason you are not a trainee, you've not even applied before, and you want to apply to first even get a GHIE number, I'll take you through the process that you will need to go through so that you become a training professional engineer. After that, you can go ahead with the examination application. So what are the basic requirements for TPE if you are applying for training professional engineer? We need certain details, and the system will collect those details. The first one is your personal or your biodata. So you will need to enter your biodata. I think I don't need to go into details of what the biodata are. You need to tell us the occupational group that you want to join. Do you want to join as a training professional engineer, technologist, technician, or craftsman? Then you give us your academic qualification and the necessary documents, and state something about your experience on the form. And then you upload it on the form, and you will get an email that we are processing it. Later on, you need to make some payments. We'll confirm your eligibility, and then you need to make some payment. And based on that, we will send you an email giving you your GHIE number. So that is the process that you go through. And the Secretariat is very efficient in handling this process. And because it's new, I know most of you have not used it, but going forward, that is what we're going to use. If you have any challenges, we'll be using the email so that the physical interface will reduce. So this is just the interface. I'm not going to go into the details. So the TPE training professional, for example, if you select the training professional, this is the interface. The first step, it will tell you step 2, your personal information, the things you need to upload, step 3, step 4, academic information.
Hello, Engineer Chen.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. It looks as if your slide is on slide 3.
Slide 3. It's still
yes, we are seeing. Yes, it's still on slide 3.
So it's not moving?
No, please.
Oh, okay. Let me stop sharing and share again.
Okay. Thank you.
So this one. So can my slide be seen now?
Yes, Engineer Chen.
So can you see the change?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. So we have the training, the TP application process. So I was just it's just the first stage is the step 1, your personal or biodata. It asks of your biodata, just your basic information. And then you go to the next academic data, and you'll be required to upload certain information, your photos, your certificates, and then we'll use that to do the assessment. When you get the confirmation with your number and you've done all the payment, as I explained earlier on, then if you are ready for the examination, so for those of you who are already TPs, this is now the process you go through. So that means you already have a GHIE number. So you will go through a different process. The general requirement is that you've gone through this pre-exams workshop. This pre-exams workshop, this is the national one. Various branches within the next few days and weeks, next week or so, we'll be doing other in-person pre-exams workshop where they'll have this same information, and if you have even detailed questions, the branches will share with you. Your branches will share with you. But basically, payments for the examination will be handled online. But if you still want to go to the secretariat, you can do that. So I will take you through some few steps for those of you who are already TPs. Mainly, you will enter your GHIE number, and a token will be sent to you, and the type of examination, so to your mobile number. And if it is you enter the token, then you can go to the next stage. So it's only those who are already TPs who can go beyond this step. Now, beyond that, you can then enter your, once again, basically your biodata. And most of them, because we have your data already in our system, it will be just generated if you filled it earlier on in the first system, I mean, the TP application. If you've already that you are already a TP, we've not uploaded, so some of this information will be required again in the next stage. So just bear with us. Then, once again, your occupational group, now you'll be required to enter your specialization. So you are electrical, electronic engineer, but there are various specializations based on your practice that you want to be examined. So you'll be required to enter your specialization. So you're a civil engineer, but you want to be examined in maybe geotechnical engineering, or you want to be done traffic or highway. So you should enter that. Then once again, your academic qualifications, the proposers, you give us their names and their GHIE number, and the supporters and their requirements for who a proposer is and a supporter is. Basically, for PEs, the proposer should be a fellow, and the supporters can be an SPE, a fellow or SPE, and the supporters can be PEs or SPEs or any. And so you enter the names, and emails will be sent to them to confirm that they know you. Then you give us your employment records, so you can add as many places that you've worked in terms of your experience. Then your continuous professional development, the courses and other developmental CPDs that you've undertaken also should be entered. Then other documents that you may want to include, basically your certificates, once again, your photographs, and then finally your career reports. And I'll talk about your career reports in the next set of slides later on. Then we will generate a bill for you. You give us the data for the bill payments for the examination. All right. So after you've paid, and we will do, we'll contact you and do automatic placement. The panel will send you an email telling you about the panel, and this is done randomly, but also based on your specialization. And then we'll schedule you for the examination. And everything is going to be done by the system. And we, in terms of the security of the exams and all those things, it's watertight. So be rest assured. So what I will do is I would once again stop sharing and go back again to the other presentation. Just a minute. Okay, let me rather, this is where I was. Aisha, can this be seen?
Yes, yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. Is it on slide? So because it's
Yeah,
Yes,
it's like
yes.
31 now on the screen.
all right. So, you now can you see the bio data?
This is membership application form.
Okay, then let me stop sharing and do this again because I realize it's not moving at my end. Let me see. Let me share the screen again and let me see. All right. So, okay, if it's all right. So we have the personal data, basically your bio data. Actually, is this okay?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Okay. All right. Which I mean, this all these systems have been automated, so you see that. So I'll not go back, but I wanted to emphasize the fact that for the sponsors, I think I talked about the PEs, but if you're a PET, your proposal should be an SPE or SPET, and your supporters can be 2 PEs or SPETs or PETs. So just check, depending on the category, the type of sponsors that you can have, but all those things are within the system. Then I think I talked about the career report. So the career report is basically a document that shows, it gives a summary of what you've done over the period post-qualification. So it should have a well-structured cover page with all the information that I've indicated, your name, your title, the area that you want to specialize, your personal data or bio data, your educational background, your professional affiliation. But of importance to us is the chronological report showing your engineering career. So I went to, after this school, I went to work in firm A. From this to place, you tell us about the firm and what you did. And that is your professional engineering career. And then the CPDs that you have undertaken over the period. And as I said, organizer, your personal engagement. So of importance is what you yourself have been engaged in, because you'll be examined on the things that you've written, that you have done. Okay. Then the other thing is within the career report is your experience. I mean, within what standards, what course, and all those things. So we will make available, I think it's already there, but I'll confirm from Aisha. a sample career report that you can use going forward. But this is just a guideline. We've not started implementing the training logs where we will be able to link directly, since that's the training log book from firms, but eventually that is where we'll be going. So now let's talk about the professional examination. The examination. So what is this examination about? We've been talking about it. The examination, once again, is based on the technical division. So for the civil technical division, we call it the CP, the Civil Engineering Professional Exams. Then we have the MEPE, the Mechanical Agric Engineering Exams. Then we have the EP, Electrical Electronic Engineering Professional Exams. Then the CHEPI, that's the Chemical Mining Engineering Professional Exams. So at least you belong to one of them. Generally, things have changed. It's now done online. COVID has changed a lot of things. So the examination is now done online. However, the written portion, we will have certain centers that you'll be dealing with. So the examination is made up of 3 components: the technical review, the general interview, and the written or the essay examination. So the technical review, and I'm going to forms 40%, and I'll go into the details later. 40% of the examination. The general interview, which is mainly based on your career report, forms 30% of your examination, and the written portions also form 30% of your examination. Generally, the pass mark for each and every exam is 50%, or portion is 50%. So for the technical to pass, you need at least 50%. General, you need at least 50%, and same for the essay. Now, if you get more than 50% or more, you've passed. However, if you fail the technical, you fail the entire examination. If you fail both, set up. Can you switch off your microphone, please? If you fail both general and essay, you fail the entire examination. So, but for one reason, assuming you fail only the essay, you've not failed everything. You can only come and write. You can come and write only the essay. Or if you fail only the general interview, you can come and do only the general interview. So let's go to the technical review. So what is this technical review? For me, I will call it like pitching. It's a 10 minutes PowerPoint presentation, and I'm putting its emphasis because certain candidates over the period have been rejected because they came without any presentation of a specific engineering projects that you have undertaken, the activity that you have taken, and it's technical. So it should be really technical that you've undertaken. So within your career, but only one. And you make a presentation for 10 minutes. And based on the presentation, you'll be asked questions, and then you'll be scored. So it's like what the communication experts call the elevated speech or elevator speech. So within 10 minutes, show to the panel that you are indeed an engineer, but you have prepared that technical presentation. Then the general interview is, as I said, is based on your career reports. So they will look at your career report and ask you questions, and the questions will be based on your understanding and basically what you've done on planning, general engineering, planning, design, construction, and testing, whatever that you've done, depending on your field, your understanding of certain codes, standard health and safety issues. And they'll ask you questions also on code of ethics of the institution beyond the career report, and also the constitution issues. And also they will ask you questions on current affairs. So they can ask you who is the president of the institution or who is the vice president, which committee, name 3 standing committees of council. So you should know about the institution. You should know about the Engineering Council Act, the our Constitution Engineering Council Act, and LI 2410. So that's something that you know. And the oral interview, as I said, in general, or general interview forms 30%. And within the 30%, you will be checking your communication skills, how your career report, how did you really organize it? Are you organized? And so the communication forms 25%, career report forms 10%, and your understanding of engineering practice and experience will form 60%. And typically, this lasts between 20 to 30 minutes. Then we'll go to the written, which I said forms 30% of the examination. Generally, you're expected to write about 1,500 words, and we'll give you 6 questions, and you are supposed to select one. It's online, you type. But because it's online and you type, you do not have access, or you cannot go online and be Googling and checking, or use ChatGPT or any of the AIs. So, or the dictionary will be locked and all those things. And we will normally look at the presentation and language, that forms 30%, and the treatment of the subjects, your understanding of the question, your contribution of new ideas, and demonstration of personal knowledge. That together will form the 70%. All that is scored out of 30%. So let's look at typical written questions. So this we've normally uploads typical written questions online, but these are questions, those old A-level, that general paper type of questions. So let me just pick randomly one of them. Let me say question 2. Write a paper to argue for or against the involvement of engineers in the realization of government flagship program of 1 district, 1 factory, 1 village, 1 dam policy. So this is not for civil engineers. This is not for electrical. Every engineer should be able to answer, but this is an argumentative paper. So even we'll be looking, as I said earlier on, we will be looking at, first of all, your presentation, the use of language, and how you understand the question, and if you have new ideas and your personal knowledge. So there are other questions. So let me pick another question from this slide. There has been a public outcry of poorly constructed roads and other public infrastructure, which fail within a short time after completion. What, in your opinion, are the causes and the role engineers can play in arresting this menace? So I can tell you that most often the questions that come are based on topical issues within the country around the time of the examination. So just be open to just open your mind and try a few of the some of the topical questions and sample questions. So, for example, compare the advantages and disadvantages of financing infrastructure development from public and private sources. So, let's see. All right. So, when all is said and done, your examination, we will go through the grading of your examination. All the panel members will submit them, and it will come to my committee first. That's the membership committee. We will look at it. We will do some moderation of the examination. And based on that, we will send it to council. Council will then approve the results, and then we will publish it. Actually, the Constitution is the executive director who will publish it. And within 30 days, if there are any objections, if we don't receive it, the executive director will write to successful candidates and inform them about their induction. And typically you pay a prescribed fee for the induction. What we go beyond this is even unsuccessful candidates are informed about where they fell short. And especially if you are only to write maybe written only or oral, or do the oral interview only, they will inform you. They will also give you details of where you fell short, and then you can prepare for the next examination. So both those who are successful and unsuccessful are communicated to by our executive director. And those who are successful, there is an induction ceremony, and that is you swear. It's normally an open ceremony. We just finished one, and all things being equal, you all be inducted. I'll give you the possible dates, and then you take your engineer's oath, and then you will be given the status of a full member. Generally, in terms of the next section, the time we have is quite limited. So from today, actually from tomorrow, you can start going online and send in your applications. Applications will end on the 21st of July. And as applications come, we'll process them. And then we'll get approved lists between the 1st and 4th of August. We would have had all the approved list, and we will invite them, ask them to pay using the system. And then examination will start from the 7th of August to the 19th of August. And we hope that after that, because of the systems that we are putting into place, we will get the approved results, hopefully by mid of September, and then we'll publish it for 1 month. And somewhere in November, you will do your induction. I must say that around October, November, we'll do another exams for the next group, but the timetable is yet to be out. So on that note, I will want to thank each and every one of you. It's been exciting for listening, and I'm sure there are a lot of questions. I can see a lot of them even in the chat room. What I'm going to do is go through, try my possible best to answer some of the questions, and maybe I will take a few. If you also want to speak, we can use the raise hand, the reaction button, and raise your hand. After that, but because of the noise, what I will say is that if your question has already been clearly answered by the presentation, then you don't need to repeat yourself. Let our questions be very concise, no history. Just go to the point, and then I will try our best. So we'll take a couple of questions, then we'll try our best to answer. So I'll go to the chat room, and I'll start with Foster. He says that an MSc Geomatic Engineering graduate with first degree in built environment discipline, that's BTech, become a member. Yes, the council has given us clarity on it. So yes, Thomas is saying to become a senior, the experience is 10 years. Is this 10 years after becoming a professional engineer, or 10 years of total experience? So yes, so for now, we are using total experience. Yes, Thomas. Okay. Is national service considered work experience? I'm here. Yes, depending on where you did your national service and what you did. So we are just not counting years. We are counting engineering. Okay, so the years in engineering practice. So yes, if your national service, you worked in an engineering organization and you can prove that you were practicing engineering, why not? Okay. Please, can engineering technologies use? No, Razak, I explained that engineering technology cannot, is only, the ING is only for PEs. Okay, so Teddy is saying that with BTech building an MSc project management and over 5 years in engineering and construction, do I qualify?
Well,
so Teddy, unfortunately, at the moment, we've not gotten clarity on that from the Engineering Council. I guess building technology is not engineering. At the moment, that's what we have. But MSc project management, we have not gotten clarity. So you can still apply. We will send it to the council for clarity. Then, okay, so these are challenges that we're facing. I'll take a few more. He says that, Emmanuel is saying that at what point do you get a token? So this is when you are applying for the examination, when you enter your exam, your GHIE number, that is when you get your token, and you press it, it will ask you for it, will send you a token. Okay. But also qualifies you to be a PE. Nana, I think I gave the, and so I'll continue. The slides will be available, so you can use that. Nana Odum. Peter Agbadi, I can see your hand up, so I will rather take the one in the chat room, and then I'll skip. Please go over the entire career report. I'll make the slides available, Peter, so that you can have them. The word technical is relative. Please come again. Peter, I'm sorry. I don't understand what the word, how you want to learn technical. So if you have a better explanation of technical, please, you can write it, how relative it is. What qualifies you to be a TPE? Okay, so TPE is mainly based on your, so Dana Odum, TPE is mainly based on your academic qualification. TPE is only based on your academic qualification. So I'll take the next two and then I'll pause. I think Teddy, I've already answered you. So Mame Saki, with the written exams, if someone is unable to make it due to job schedule, yes, what are the next steps? Or yes, in place to, oh yes, so yes, so normally for some reason, if you inform us, either you join the next examination for the written exams, or we will see how we can, the secretariat will deal with that if they need to do a special exam. And this time, but generally you need to inform the secretariat and then they will make the necessary provisions for you. I think George Amethefe, I think I've answered your question already, the next examination. Yes, iPhone, yes, you'll get the slides and we will make them available online. So I will add and at iPhone, then I'll go to the hands. I think Peter, I've already answered your question online using the chat room. So I will go to Philson. Philson, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. My question is on the exam, the written exam. You gave a range between the 1st and 7th August. Does it mean we're going to have different questions? Or is it the day that you have set for this exam, the written exam? Because there was the time was between 1st and 7th August, as per your presentation. Are they going to be the same questions for everybody, or they're going to write the exam the same day?
All right, thank you very much. So you are not having the same questions. We have a pool of questions, a lot of questions. And so everybody is randomly given 6 and you choose one.
Hello,
Philson, can you switch off your microphone?
Yes, sir.
All right, Abdul Rahman. Philson, excuse me. Can you switch off your microphone? Who is?
Abdul Adam.
Yeah.
Abdul Adam.
Yes, sir.
Adam.
Yes, sir. Please. Good evening, engineer.
Hold on, someone is interfering. All right. Abdul Adam.
Yes, sir.
Philson, kindly lower your hand, okay? So, Abdul Adam, you can go. Adam, you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. First of all, thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. My first question is based on the online application. What is the search engine for it? Like if I want to access the application, what?
Adam, where are you? I think it's your background.
No, please.
Sir, it's Martin Kim. One Martin Kim who is talking.
Okay, Secretariat, if this continues, can we do something about the host?
Yes,
so that
yes.
Okay. All right. Abdullah Adam, sorry. Okay. You can go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Please, I wanted to know if I go on Google, how do I search for the online application?
All right. Okay. So before we end with the Richard, who is the IT expert at the Secretariat, will give us some direction on that. So that's a very good question.
Okay,
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. So you can go ahead and lower your hand so that the next person, Foster.
Okay, good evening, sir. Please, I
Yeah.
did like to find out, can somebody who has a first degree in land economy and then a master's in geomatics engineering apply to be a TPE? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Foster, yes. Lower your hand, Foster. Emmanuel, is it Eje? Emmanuel Eje, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Can a TP use the title ING?
No.
Only a P.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
It is actually unethical and it's against this thing. And if you find anyone doing that, please report to us. You can lower your hand. The next one is Sickles the Adonis. Sickles the
Yes,
Adonis.
thank you, Engineer Doctor. I don't know whether I pronounced the title right. Yes, my question has to do with concerning the examination. Hello,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask this personally for me. I'm currently working in Liberia as an expert. So I would love to come to Ghana probably next month to sit down for the examination. However, I'm in Sunyani, so I just want to know whether the examination centers, we have some in Sunyani, and the people who are going to do the interview or the necessary vetting are also going to be in Sunyani. And if GHI, if I may ask, do we have a professional supervisor or counselor who can advise the younger ones who are joining the association and then counsel on the directives of the practice of GHIE? And then also somebody having 2 engineering field and has been practicing only one, is it possible he can include the other one which he has not practiced at all? And if not, what is your guidance or your advice for such a person? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your set of questions. So the first thing is that the examination is fully online in terms of the oral and the technical. However, the written, we have examination centers, and Sunyani has an examination center. So the dates they'll be doing it will be posted, but it will fall within the window that we've provided. So if you are in Sunyani, you can do it there. The examiners are not going to be from Sunyani. They are from nationwide. We have a pool of examiners, and because it's online, it's from all over the country. And even sometimes we have examiners from outside the country who will be examining you. The last aspect is whether we have counselors, if I understood that right. We do not have counselors, but we have, I'm sure you are talking about Memphis, and one of the things you expected also through your branches. So when you attend a branch workshop and other things, there are people who are very experienced, who have been members, and your branch can provide further guidance on the things to do, and also the secretariat. I think the last part of your question, if I got it right and you can help me, is in relation to whether can you help me on that again? I didn't write it down, sorry.
Yes. Okay, so I was saying somebody who has 2 engineering degrees and has fully been practicing one and have not practiced. Yeah.
So actually, if you are not practicing, it's academic qualification and practice. So if you are not practicing, then you cannot hold yourself it is unethical to hold yourself that maybe, for example, I have electrical and I'm a civil engineer, but I've not practiced electrical engineering. Then I go and hold myself as an electrical engineer that I'm going to either do some wiring for someone's house. It's unethical. So you cannot hold yourself. It is the things that you practice. Actually, even within the practice, there are things that if you, let me just give another example. So I'm a civil engineer. I'm a geotechnical person, but maybe I've not done any structural design. Although I'm a civil engineer, I shouldn't hold myself as a structural engineer. It's unethical. So those are the things that as part of your code of ethics training, you should have as an engineer. And that you should have, you shouldn't fall into any ethical conundrum. All right, so we will go to, I think Peter wants to speak. So Peter Agbadi, can you go ahead?
Okay, so good evening to you. I wrote my exams, I think 2 years ago, and then I made a career report. And then during the interview exams, I was told my career report looks like a business proposal. And then it doesn't look more engineering. It looks like I'm presenting a business presentation to the team of examiners online. So that made me wrote in the chat box that come again. If you say technical, I want to know the reason, the meaning behind technical, because I was reprimanded for putting up a presentation that I felt was much more technical enough to prove a point, but then I was reprimanded for doing that. So I wanted to go into details.
All right, I get what you mean. So this is your experience, but it's unfortunate. You cannot be rejected even just for your career report. You realize that the career report has a mark. So if they were not satisfied, typically they will not give you a good score for the career reports. Maybe the contents did not follow the format that we had given. So what our advice is that we will format online, just follow the format and you should be okay. So you can lower your hand. Thank you. Then we go to Emmanuel Eshon.
Hello, yeah, good evening. Thank you, engineer.
Good evening.
Please, my question is, I'm a TPE and
Yeah.
I've already submitted I submitted my career report last year, but I wasn't called. So doesn't mean that I filled the form, membership form already. I did all those things last year. So I think this year is I want to know if only my career report that I have to resubmit again when it's open.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't take part in the exam. Yes.
All right, it's on. Yeah, you're right. And so because we are rolling a new system, going to retrieve your thing, I think may be a problem. And maybe Richard can come in, but I would advise that because you're already at TPE, you use the new system, apply using the new system. Okay.
Okay, so I have to refill a membership form again and then resubmit.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
You are TPE, am I right?
Sure, yeah.
So just, go to the second stage, fill in it using the TPE and submit a new career report. Obviously, if it was last year, you've gained more experience and you can update your career report and submit. Save.
Okay, thank you so much.
Most welcome. The next person is Moriana Lamco. Lamiko. I hope I got the name right.
Not at all, Engineer Chair.
Please help me. I'm sorry.
Miliona Lamioko.
Lamiko. Sorry.
Yes, Engineer
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Good evening. Please, I find myself in a very confusing situation where
Oh,
I'm
please,
going
no.
through, and I'm a civil engineer, or I had my BSc in civil engineering. I've taken a number of internships across transport and then structures. I've mastered in environmental engineering, had the opportunity to work in that field, the environmental field, for a year under an supervision of an engineer, though the company was not an engineering firm. During national service, I had the opportunity to work on a project that had some environmental components, still under an engineer. Now I find myself, after my master's, working for an international organization, and there's we have very limited. We work on projects. Each department works on projects, and then I deal with like some component of environmental and social on the projects we work on. They are not really engineering projects, if I would say. So these environmental and social aspects have got to do with risk assessment and environmental impact assessment. So do I qualify? I'm a CP.
From your narration, you overqualify.
Thank you.
From your narration, you overqualified. So it's not what you are doing immediately, but you've had some engineering experience over a period of time. You can still tell us about what you did as an environmental engineer and all the projects that you worked on. And so, yes, you qualify. And actually, dealing with project planning and other things you are doing there are also part of engineering. So you may not be dealing with hardcore designs and all those things, but I think you are overly qualified, and if you're able to express yourself same to the panel, hopefully you should be. First of all, submit your current report and go through the process, and all things being equal, you should go through. Now, are you okay?
Thank you very much. I am. Thanks.
And I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you apply. So, welcome. We now go to Gabriel Tre. Gabriel, you have the floor.
All right. So good evening. Thank you, Doc. Doc, my question is very simple. So I have a similar situation as now, but I'm not going to go into details. The question is very simple.
But you already qualified.
Oh no, wait. I am on the verge of applying for the TPE. No, I'm now with CSRI, BRI. I attended the in-person training at Kane University some months ago, and I'm on the verge of applying as TPE. So the question is, right after the application, can I proceed to apply to write the examination if I qualify?
Yes, for now, yes. Now, because of the onboarding and distance, yes, you can do that. So most people just apply, and maybe a few days they get their number, then they will use that to apply.
Okay, sure.
So
then
you can go ahead and do that. Okay,
Doc. Thank you so much.
And I'm looking forward to seeing you in being inducted. Good luck.
All right, thank you, Doc.
Welcome. We go to Philip Awutu. Philip, Achu, you have the floor.
Good evening, Doctor. Thank you so much for the platform. Yes, I posted on the chat that I had a civil BSc in civil engineering, but during the education or my studies, I have to work with mechanical engineering companies. Even currently, even after completion of the civil engineering, I still work with mechanical companies. So I'm willing to be a mechanical. I'm currently doing my master's in MEP, engineering and management. But I did application before undertaking this master. So is it possible I'll be considered like a mechanical engineer?
All right. Actually, that's a tough question. Just yesterday, we had a meeting on this particular issue.
Yes.
We've set up a committee to give us some direction and help us, because there's some lack of clarity first on the Constitution, and also we need clarity from the Engineering Council. So what I will ask you to do is to go ahead and apply. I'm expecting that within the next 2 weeks, the committee will come out with the funding, and before your exam, it's finding, and before that, we'll get clarity. But even if you are not able to do it, I can assure you that if you're able to finish the master's, then per the Engineering Council, you have a master's degree and you have a degree in engineering. So you can, and in this case, mechanical, so you can do the mechanical. So I do not want to deter you. Go ahead, and when we get clarity, maybe we'll get clarity soon, then we'll go forward. Is that clear?
Okay. Yes, very, very clear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
and
much.
Good
Thank
luck.
you so much. Yes, thanks.
So what I'm going to do is to go back to the chat box, because we have a lot of questions there. And then I'll try and pick a few of the questions. I think I was at Techno something, but let me see how the, let me start from the bottom maybe. Oh yeah, so someone is asking how we get in the slides. We'll put it on our website. The secretariat will give us all those information and you can go for them. I think this is also being recorded. Sometimes they put it on YouTube with the entire video, so you can have a look at it. Kriane Aku is where do aviation related engineering like aerospace and all those things. So normally, I know most of them go to mechanical, but depending on your practice, some of them can go to electrical too. So, but generally, Naku, please, you can, depending on your practice, you can either go to mechanical or electrical. I just see another question. Erica say it's applied last year. Sorry, if I applied last year and my application was because I didn't meet the number. Yeah, so depending on whether, Erica, it depends on whether between last year and now, and depending on when you applied last year, if you gain the 3 years of engineering experience. So I think just check and confirm.
Engineer Chair.
Yes.
Please, a lot of the questions have been answered. I don't know whether you can't view them, but
okay.
I don't know whether you need to refresh or
glance through. If they are those that I've missed, then let me know. So I'll be waiting for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So glance through, then let me rather allow a few more from, we have Michael. Michael, we don't have your full name, but Michael, can you go ahead with your question?
Okay, hello, please, good evening to everyone. I did my bachelor degree in water and sanitation from UCC, and also did my master's in water supply and environmental sanitation in Tech. and currently a food engineer for the Gaba Sanitation and Water Project. So I wanted to know whether I qualify to be a TPE and further apply to be a professional engineer.
So as I said, for the TPE, it's only your academic qualification. So it's training. So it's based on your academic qualification. So you qualify if you have the right requisite academic qualification. Okay. So let's go to Michael. You can lower your hand. We'll go to Wilfred Sampson.
Okay, so good evening, Doc.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, so yes, so you see, talking about the qualification for the TPE to become a PE, you stated that the person should have like 3 years experience, and within the 3 years experience, 1 year of the experience, the person should hold a position. So I want to find out if somebody have 5 years work experience, but he has been working under a boss, so he doesn't hold any position. Does it mean that the person doesn't qualify to be a PE?
Okay. So when we say position of responsibility, it doesn't mean, so you have to understand the word, the position of responsibility. It doesn't mean that maybe you should have been promoted. Are you, first of all, do you have a group of people that you supervise or you take care of? So you can be working under someone, but maybe you are working on teams, and because of that team, you may make the head of that team. I hope you get it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So we'll go to Sheila's number note 10 late. You have the floor.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Sheila.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Is that?
Please, I wanted to find out from you if I have a BSc qualification in engineering, and then I did my master's in engineering as well. Then I practiced engineering for about 6 years, and I have left the field to probably take up a higher role in the management position. Do I still qualify to apply for a PE position? I have never had
Exactly.
a TPE.
You are qualified. You are qualified.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Most welcome, and looking forward to seeing you join. Then we go to Kwame Senya. Kwame, you have the floor.
Hello. Hi, engineering doctor.
Hi. Hi, Kwame. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Excellent presentation and patience with everybody, by the way. I have a question it's probably just about myself and my own situation. Actually, it's not going to help anyone else. I'm actually been practicing engineering for a long time abroad. I'm a full member of IMechE in the UK, and actually a chartered engineer with the Engineering Council for over 10 years. Right now, I'm applying for the professional engineering position. How long of a gap do I need before I then apply to be an SPE, considering my, let's say, international position?
All right. Thank you. Let me put it this way. I'll take opportunity to give you, and I didn't bring it up, and thanks once again for your question. The first thing is we have another route, and the Constitution gives us that mandate as a committee to recommend to council people who have considerable years of experience, are members of also other professional bodies. And normally when I say considerable, we are looking at 15 years and above. And they are members of other professional bodies. we can exempt them from certain part of the examination. So normally, those people do not take the technical review and the written exams. They do take only the oral interview. So we have this option we call the confirmation hearing. And that is the process I can see someone like you going through. Now, when you become a member, and because of your considerable years of experience, typically after a year, you can apply for the SPE. So if there are others like that on the platform, please, we can take advantage of that route because, and I think the other caller on who said she had CS, I'm sure maybe she may, if we aggregate, depending on how long she's been working, she can also go through that route. So the main point is that just apply, send us an email through the secretariat, and we can consider you through the confirmation hearing process.
Noted. Thank you very much for that.
Most welcome. Godfred, so Kwame, you can lower your hand, and Godfred, you have the floor.
Thank you, Engineer. I think my question has to do with organizations trying to register a number of people. For example, maybe a company has about 15 engineers and they want to register them. If there's a plan, Thank you.
Oh, yes, certainly, Godfred, yes. So if your organization wants to help in the process in registering, why not? We are ready. But at the end of the day, filling of the data and all those things needs to be done by the individuals. And you just inform us that maybe all the bills should go to that organization. The secretariat will assist you in that process. So we do not prohibit any organization from registering or assisting in the registration of their staff. And we actually look forward for that.
Thank you, Doc. And I follow up on the, when it comes with the exams, can they have the on-site exams or they will have to follow the same?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've stopped the on-site examination. The only ones that we do on-site is the confirmation hearing. Unfortunately, is the confirmation hearing that we do on-site.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
Okay. Welcome. So can you kindly lower your hand, Godfred, so that I can go to Emmanuel Lakote?
Sorry, did you say Emmanuel? Ajay?
Emmanuel Lakote.
Oh, okay, no, I'm Ajay.
Thank you very much. Engineer Doctor, please, if one was an athlete, which is now a PET, but was classified under a trainee professional engineering technologist, and now has a BSc that was in 2015, and has been practicing engineering over the years, do I have to reapply as a PTE before I take the examination? Thank you.
You already have a number, am I right?
Yes, please, I already have a number.
Yeah, so you can go ahead and go through the PE application. You don't need to register as a TPE.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. But so as you said, the two options, either you use the PET route to the PE, or you go through the TPE. Which of those two options can I utilize?
So you used to be an affiliate, am I right?
Yes, please, an affiliate.
Yes, and now you have a GHIA number.
Yes, please, I have a GHIA number.
So you will just apply. So the whole process for now for the TPE, and I think I'll let the secretariat come in. Madam Aisha coming on your question. Because of the new system, I'm wondering you may need to still go through the application for the TP. Madam Aisha, can you help me with this, please?
Adobia's hand was up. Adobia, please respond.
Okay, so he would have to send us a mail notifying us of his new certificate that he has acquired. Then we do the upgrade for him before he can apply for the examination. If he applies as a TPET, he'll be examined as a TPET. So until we update his records here, he won't be able to proceed as a TPE.
All right. So just send an email to the secretariat, the secretariat exams, they will update your records, then they will give you the go ahead so that you can go and ahead and apply. Madam Adobia will be there to assist you. So she will be the one responding to your email. So
Okay.
she'll be there.
So please, can we have the email, the exact email on the
Yeah, at the end of the slides, it's all actually on the website, but at the end of the slides, Richard, can you compile, first of all, the email for the secretariat after this presentation, the websites and the links to the applications online so that members who are interested can copy. And maybe I'll also include in my presentation before we share it with members. All right. So we will go to most welcome, Ima. So you can lower your hand, Ima, so that I'll give Vivian the opportunity. Vivian.
Thank you, Engineer Chair. Please, I'm so happy that I joined, and I thank you for the presentation, but I'd like to find out, I sat for the exams in 2020, and I was not able to make it for the written.
Okay.
But
so you just notify us.
Yes, so I want to find out.
Right.
Yes, so I want to find out if I can still sit for it, and if yes, do I have to go through the process of filling the forms and also being billed? That's what I want to find out. Thank you.
So because you pass all the component of the exams with the exception of the written, just notify and send an email to notify the secretariat. Richard will assist so that they'll add you to the examination. Okay. And but you still need to fill. He will send you an email on the forms that you need to fill, but you are not going to go through the full process of doing written and the oral and the technical again. So we will first have to confirm the information you give us, and based on that, Richard and the team will assist you going forward.
Okay.
So I wish you the best, and we know you'll be successful going forward. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So we go to the next person, David Mensah. And because of time, I think I will have to end in the next 5 minutes. So the rest of you, you can send your questions either to my email or the secretariat, and I'll do my best to answer. And indeed, I'll answer all your questions. David Mensah.
Hi, Doug. Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to get confirmation on the format for the career report when submitting. I know ideally it's supposed to be a PDF form, but I just wanted to confirm if that's how it's supposed to be.
Yes, it's PDF. I think on the system, the new system, it will tell you even the formats. So if you send any other format, it will not accept.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So finally, Emmanuel AJ, now you have the floor. Emmanuel AJ. So David, you can lower your hand. So Emmanuel, you have the floor. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again. I want to find out somebody who has been in an engineering firm for 19 years, but had his first degree just about 2 years ago, and currently a TP. Can he continue to apply to be a PE?
So what before this thing, what did the person have? What? Yes, but what qualification did he have?
HND.
Yes, so if you check the route, yes, if you check the route with HND 2 years, he can apply.
He can apply to be a PE because currently he's a TP. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Currently, if you say it's a TP, now he has a degree. Am I right?
Yes, currently he has a degree. He had it 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. So that's okay. He can apply.
Work for some years now.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
You understand? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
He can apply. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So according to my watch, because the secretariat will be coming in and we need to close, I have 3 minutes. So I will ask Titi. Emmanuel, you can lower your hand, and Titi, you have the floor. Titi, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doc. In fact, my question has just been answered. It's just a
Okay, so you can lower your hand so that I'll pick. Thank you, Titi. Reku Jr., you have the floor. Titi, you can lower your hand. Good evening.
Yeah, we are very grateful for this workshop. Well, I have a very particular case that I wanted to ask about.
Okay.
I graduated in 2015, but since then I've never been in any engineering field. I was teaching. It was only last year that I started working with the Ministry of Environment as an assistant engineer, but I'm not working directly under any engineer. But I'm the only engineer there working as an assistant engineer. I'm not working under any engineer. So I've been working in the Environment Directorate, which is a technical directorate on climate change and biodiversity. So I was looking at, but I've already registered as a TP. So I was looking at taking the exams this year, but I was looking at what the career report, and especially the technical side, which I've not really had much experience there, and also not working directly under an engineer. I don't know how does that affect me in becoming a PE.
Okay, so generally, what I will say is you've taken a good step to become a TP. You are also at the moment working in the ministry dealing with policy related issues. So we are dealing with engineering policy related issues. I think gain more experience over there from all the other stuff. I agree that, but also this is my personal advice: find mentors and come to the institution. We can link you to other environmental engineers and also let them be more of your mentors. And in 2 years' time, you would have met the 3 years requirement, and you can apply for the PE. That is what I will advise. So you are dealing with policy, and with policy is engineering policy. You can write about the engineering policy, like you rightly said, sustainability issue, climate change, and all those things. Those are relevant in the 21st century that we live in. So that's my advice for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You can email me and we can have further discussion. I think you've taken the right decision. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Very good. So, Madam Aisha, is there any specific question in the chat room that you think I should be able to address? So,
sorry, Doctor. My name is Sid. If you can give me an opportunity to ask you this question, I'll be very happy.
Can we, because there are a lot of people who are.
I'll be very happy, very, very happy. My colleague will understand me. So,
all right, go ahead, Saint.
okay, I'm asking this question on behalf of my brother. He's having BSc as a mechanical engineer 2012, and then he was on the head of a department at Nimon, Ghana before he traveled outside this country. And he's asking whether if he can write the exams and I can register for him on his behalf. Is it possible?
No. He can apply, everything is online. So no matter where he is, he can apply. If it's about payment, you can pay for him. But he should do it himself, go through, send all the necessary documentation, and we can do online for him. The written exams, we have a special exams for those overseas. So if he is overseas, we can send a written paper instead of online. We will normally send a written paper to an examination center, and that examination center will deal with will basically deal with the examination, will administer the examination on our behalf, and then we will grade him. So wherever you are in the world, at least I've been the membership chair for the now is my 3rd year, and we've done examination all over the world, from China, the US, UK. So his location shouldn't be a barrier, but you cannot be the one to register for him. He should fill the forms himself.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Madam Aisha, please, over to you.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Engineer Chair, I will ask Adobe. I think she has one question that has not been answered. So, Adobe, please go ahead.
Okay, so Chairman, Mr. Kwame Samyok, he asked a question about position of responsibility. That is not too clear. So if he's still online, we'd like him to ask the question.
Oh, okay. I think I tried earlier on to explain the position of responsibility, that it doesn't mean that you've been promoted. And I'll use myself as an example. As an assistant engineer, we were asked sometimes to do certain works in teams, and within the teams, you become a team leader. You are in a position of responsibility. Yes, we are working under people. Yeah, I think, sorry, my network tripped. But I think I was answering the position of responsibility issue. So Adobia, if you got me right, or if the questioner got me right, the point I was trying to make is that you typically, depending on the project, you are still working under people, but you can still be leading teams, leading projects, or being in responsible for certain tasks, not just only taking direct instruction or not taking initiative. So those are the things that we are looking at when it comes to position of responsibility. All right. Any other, Madam Adobia? Hello, Adobia. Hello, Aisha.
Mr. Chairman, I guess that will be all. There are some few questions we are trying to respond to. But then if you are done with your presentation, we'll just need them to note every information we communicate to them. They need to pay attention to it. And then some people are asking about.
Okay, thank you. So I will call. I will call on Richard to share with each and every. Hello, Madam Adobia. Your line, if it's either my end or I don't know that it's from my end, but your network got muffled, or is it coming from my end?
Hello, Chairman, please, can you hear me?
Hello? Yeah, the network got a little muffled. So, Madam Adobe, I didn't get some of your question.
Okay, so Chairman, I said that some people asked about the fees.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
I think that those
Aside-
ones you provide
yes.
them.
Yes.
You
please.
provide them.
So
Yes.
there's a registration fee, there's an examination fee, and then there's an induction fee.
All right.
Yes.
So maybe what I'll do is I'll let Richard show the first screen where he talks about, he gives the links. And then after that, you can list the fees. And then Madam Aisha, you close us. And then maybe before you come in, I say a few words, then we close this section. And once again, I'm sorry for those of you who, for some reason, have a lot of questions, Zoom user, Joseph, Kobina, Techno, and the rest, Samuel, please forgive us because of time. We cannot allow all the questions, so we will want to end the sections, but you can always send us an email and I'll be more than ready to respond. Please, can we have Madam Richard? Can you take over, please?
Engineer Chair, I'm sorry. I don't think Richard can join us. He is in another meeting. What I intend to do tomorrow, we'll share the link with them and then include the email addresses for registering for TPE. And those with questions and answers, they can as well send it to
and the links,
the same email address. Yes, the link will be shared. And then by Monday, we'll also share the video and then the presentation and the handout as well. So participants should kindly bear with us.
All right. Thank you very much. Madam Adobia, would you want to talk about the fees, please?
Okay, Chairman. So for the TPE, the fee is 720. Then for the examination fee, it is 800 today. And then for the induction fee, it will be communicated. But the current fee is 600. It's likely to change. But whatever the case may be, we'll communicate it to them. Yes, please.
Thank you very much.
You're
On
welcome.
that note, before I hand over to the membership manager at the Secretariat, Madam Aisha Usman, I want to use this opportunity first to thank the Secretariat, the ED, and all staff for excellently organizing this workshop and for supporting in the work of the institution. You've worked actually beyond your time. It's 7 o'clock and you are still in the office helping, ensuring that this becomes successful. But most importantly, for the participants, without you, this workshop wouldn't have come on. This is the first time at the Go we are having about 300 participants. It is very remarkable. It shows how interested you are in building Ghana and our engineering in Ghana. And so once again, we want to thank each and every one of you, and we wish you the best of luck, and we hope to see you all become full members of our institution. On that note, I thank you all, and I wish you a very good evening, and I hand over to Madam Aisha. Aisha, over to you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Chair. You've summed up the closing remarks, so let me also take the opportunity to thank you on behalf of the Secretariat as well as the participants for a wonderful presentation. I'm sure the participants have enjoyed it, and We also wish to thank you for taking time to address some of the concerns of the participants as well. I wish to thank the participants too as well for making themselves available for this presentation. As I mentioned earlier, the email addresses, I have shared a couple of email addresses, so if they have further concerns, they can reach out to the Secretariat. Thank you very much, everyone. I see you. We hope you will complete your application processes and at the end of it all, be successful in the examination. So we wish you well and good night.
Good night.